All right, I'm here with my man in Jamaica, Ras Fyah. Decided to link up the podcast again and do like a third episode. I think just do a little bit of a rundown on what you're up to. I know you just got 4 acres of farmland, and you've been chilling next to Mokko in your yard. And what are you up to, man?
Yeah, man. So back in Jamaica now. All these years, finally living here, man. Finally staying here. Got a stamp on my passport. So that's me officially here now, man, for the future. Yard's looking good. Just fixing up another room. And yeah, man, got a big project kicking off next year, man. Got 4 acres in the hills, not too far from me at all. Walking distance. So 4 acres in the hills, and we're away to start. There's me and a team of folk, including Mokko, are about to start a big farming project up there. Um, and I'm just kind of getting my yard ready. I'm getting another room fixed up just now. So I'm going to be inviting people to come down, stay for free, get some food for free in exchange for work for maybe like 4.5 days out of the 7 days of the week. So that's always been the mission for me, man, throughout the years. Is to do something like this. Just COVID kind of held things up a bit, but we're here, man. The dream hasn't stopped, and yeah, we're going for it, man. We're making big progress, like big progress. So the land's secure. We just need to basically we're going to go up there before the new year and kind of start clearing a bit down, where we're going to build a little hut up there just so we can kind of chill out when we're farming. But yeah, man, as basically as soon as the year's over, people are going to be rolling in to stay at my place. Like I say, in exchange for a couple of days of work and some help, you'll get to stay for free. I've got everything here you can need to feel comfortable. I've got a shower, running toilet, the river's right there. There's loads of food. You'll get a nice bed for the night, electricity to charge whatever you need to charge. Mokko's got a vehicle there if you ever needed to go anywhere or do anything. So yeah, man, like place is up and running. Anyone that wants to come and work, anyone wants to split up their holiday with a free stay, you know what I mean, that can help me on the yard. Everyone's more than welcome, man. And I'm literally wanting anyone to come down here that can help me, whether it's bringing vibes. I've got a painter coming down at the start of the year to come and paint up some of the houses, like cool murals and stuff. We've got so many people coming down, man. They just, can offer yourself, man, to come and help. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, big progress, man. So anyone interested, you just hit me up on the Instagram, the high climber underscore, and we just take it from there, man. If you're serious about it, you know, just just get in touch, man. Because literally, if you want to book some flights to come over next year, we're ready for you, man. We're
Nice.
ready for it. You know.
And how is it getting there? Like, if somebody flew in there, would they have to like arrange a taxi up to there? Because
Yes.
I know
So
you're a little bit
basically,
away.
yeah. So we're up in the hills. So basically, I've got kind of like, I don't really want to call it application form because you're not applying to do anything, but it's just like a bit of information about who you are and stuff. And there's some recommendations. So if you were coming here, you would have to pay for your transport from the airport and to get back to the airport. But we would pick you up. So if you had 12,000 Jamaican dollars, which I'm sure is about 50 US, 40, 50 US, we will pick you up from the airport and drive you here. You know what I mean? And I would also recommend as well, if you're coming here, it's never wise to come to a foreign country broke. Although you will be staying for free and you will be getting food, you want to have spending money, man. Like nowhere's fun poor. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'd always recommend someone to have £300 to £500 or US, and that'll cover your transport. That'll cover whatever snacks you want. If you want to go out on your days you're not working and go wherever you want to go and enjoy yourself, you can do that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's this place is kind of like it's built for someone that wants to experience the real Jamaica on a budget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'll help you out, you help me out. And the work isn't going to be, we're not going to work you to death here, man. Like, the work will be planting stuff and whatever you can offer. That's why it's like when people are going to get in touch on Instagram, we'll talk, we'll maybe have a video call or a phone call, and we'll just see what you can, why you'd want to come here, what you can offer, what we can offer you, and we'll take it from there, man. But like we want everyone here, man. If you're a farmer, you're welcome. If you're a painter, you're welcome. If you're just gonna come because you want to be useful and help, you're welcome. You know what I mean? Like I'm living here alone. I've got room to have you. We just want to create some good vibes here, man, in a community that's going to help each other. You know what I mean? Like I can help you, you can help us. And we've got a team here already where there's my land that I'm living on now, which is maybe like a quarter acre that's a farm. Mokko's got maybe an acre, a farm. I work on a Sacramento ganja farm. He's got about 9 acres of land. We've got the 4 acres in up the hills there. And we already work as a team here. We already help each other out. Someone comes for soil, we come for fruits and vegetables. That's what we want. We want it like everyone needs money in life, but we need food and water and herb, So if we can exchange that, if I can go to the farm and say, okay, I've got potatoes on my farm, this guy's got pumpkin on his farm, we swap, we trade. You know what I mean? You've got work and labor. I've got a place where you can experience the real Jamaica and experience the real rural part of the island where people, man, other than Mokko, tourists don't come here really. And you walk up the river 10 minutes and you're seeing some of the most beautiful sights you've ever seen in your life, man. Waterfalls, deep holes, beautiful spots in the jungle, and nobody's there. Nobody's there, man. You have it to yourself. You know what I mean? Like that's why people love Mokko's land, like come here, because it's like a tourist destination, but there's no tourists. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
It's
for
it's
sure.
fucking paradise, man.
That's awesome. How many people are you looking at having at a time? Like
So
what's
so I'm in the process of setting up another room just now. That's coming along nicely, and I'm going to be probably splitting that into 2 rooms. So there'll be 2 rooms there, and then I've got a room here just behind me, free. Um, so I can house 3 sets of people. So if you want to bring your girl or your man, you can do that because you're going to share a bed. So that would be 2 people in there. And if you want to come on your own, you can come on your own same way. You know what I mean? So I'd probably, if I had 2 couples and a single person, that's 5 people I can house. You know what I mean? Or if it's 3 single people, it's 3 people. You know what I mean? And it just depends, man. If someone wants to come set up a tent, there's room for that. You know what I mean? You can pitch a tent on the yard, man. Like no problem. You will be comfortable. The yard's clean. It's nice. Everything's here. So just I'm gonna have 2 double beds and a single bed for people to come and stay at. Um, and then, like I say, if the place was full and someone wanted to come set a tent or anything, they can do that, man.
right?
No problem at all. You
Are
know.
you gonna ever have people staying up on the land? Can you stay up there, or is it?
So up there, it's total bushland just now. So it would kind of have to see what it's like when we clear it out. But I don't see why not. The only thing is because it's up in the hills, and certain type of year they do controlled fire burning.
Oh fuck!
So yeah, so because there could be mad wildfires, they burn everything out. So there isn't wild. You know what I mean? Um, so that's like the only thing. Certain types of year, the whole place gets burnt out. It doesn't really trouble your farm because you're going to clean it. You're going to clean it out, so there's not going to be like bush around your stuff. You know what I mean? But if someone's up there in a tent and a fucking fire, you know what I mean?
Oh
It's not
yeah,
going to be the best one.
yeah, yeah.
But it's not far. The place isn't far, man. Like I say, like half an hour walk, 40-minute walk up the hills, like not far at all. If you're fit, you'd run up there in 15 minutes. You know what I mean?
Nice, nice.
But
And
yeah, man, that's that.
that's kind of where the Rastas originally were, kind of chilling up in the hills, right? 'Cause, I mean,
Yeah, man. All these hills around here, man, are like so full of history. Because even up in the hills at the back of me, there is an old slavery building where they took the old slaves up there and they escaped from the slavery and went and populated the hills. You know what I mean? So a lot of like there's a lot of communities in the hills, especially like Akampong and all these stuff. that are the direct descendants of escaped slaves. You know what I mean? And they're like the people that went to the hot springs and healed their wounds at the hot springs and the healing that's just along the road at Bath. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. Like the history here is, although it's a very dark history, what's come. That's what's so beautiful about Jamaica, man. Like the history here is so dark, but what's been birthed out of that is like the most beautiful thing in the world, man. Like Rastafari, God, loving the land, loving your brother and sister. Like that's what Rasta is. Rasta is love, man. Rasta is like the ultimate sacrifice in love. You know what I mean? And it's like for that to come out such dark and horrific times, it's just like it's almost like that is what God is, man. It's like from the extreme hardship and suffering comes this like beauty that you would never even have if it wasn't for that. You know what I mean?
Yep, for sure.
Um, it's just Jamaica's a wild place, man. Like a really
I
wild place, man.
I didn't know you had hot springs there. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
man. Literally, like if you like a 5-10 minute drive along Bath hot springs, there's literally hot water coming from the mountain
Yeah,
that's directly coming from the mountain, and there's like pools there that are like boiling water, man. Like boiling water. And when you go to these places, you smell the minerals in the air,
yeah,
man. You smell the sulfur and the CalMag and the silica in the air. It's, yeah, it's really healing, man. Like really, really healing, man.
yeah. We have those in Idaho, and I mean in the States too. I don't know if
Hmm.
Scotland has hot springs, but like it's crazy because it is such a healing experience to go into hot
Oh man.
springs. I mean, like you were saying with the minerals, and it's just crazy that I don't know. I didn't even expect. I guess it is volcanic, so you could have hot
Yeah, man.
springs there. So that's
Oh, bro,
crazy.
it's crazy, man. Like even if you've got like back pain and you
Yep,
go and let the water hit off your back, like it'll help it, man. And
yep,
even for, even if you have a farm and you go collect like a gallon or whatever of that water and you feed it to your plants. The
yep,
plants love it, man, because it's rich in minerals, natural
yep,
minerals. You know what I mean? That's
yeah,
straight from the mountains. So, all these like silicas and fulvic acids and sulfurs and stuff that plants love. You feed it to them and they take off like crazy. That's what a lot of people, especially when growing ganja, people go spend like hundreds of pounds on getting fulvic acid, like and silica to feed their plants, and it's coming like down the road naturally from the hills in
yeah,
abundance, man. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't even think about using it on the plants. I know here we put Epsom salt and other shit when we
Yeah,
grow like
man.
tomatoes and stuff. They
Uh huh.
love the roots love it,
Love
But
it, man.
yeah, that's crazy. So what time frame? I know you have people coming in January. What time
Mhm.
frame would you want? Because I know the rainy season's getting over with, so you want people coming like the spring through the summer
Man,
or
as soon as January hits, man, anytime all year round, I want people coming. Um,
sweet.
so yeah, pretty much like if someone shouted me today and said they wanted to come in April, if they're serious, book your flights and come, man. Like I'm here. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere for a while, man. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And like I say, I'm here alone. I've got rooms free. I'm doing all this work. If people wanted to come, like I say, they're gonna help me by working. I'm not gonna have to pay people to work. They're
yeah,
not gonna have to pay people to stay for accommodation. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So yeah, I've got, and like I say, it's not even necessarily just farmers and laborers or stuff like that. We want, like, I've got a painter coming in January that's going to help me make the yard look fucking phenomenal. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So anyone, man, even if someone like is just doesn't feel like they have anything to offer but would love to come to Jamaica and lend a hand, I want you here. I want you to come and experience this, man. You know what I mean? Like, I've got rooms laying empty. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to come and experience this side of Jamaica, man. You know what I mean? Because a lot of
yeah.
people don't see this part of the world, let alone the real, authentic people and the authentic life.
Yeah, and I mean you're next door to Moko too, so I mean
Yeah, man.
people would get to kind of fuck with Moko a little bit
Yeah,
and
man.
see
Yeah.
because I know he does some like bush tours. Like man, I love going out and foraging. I would
Mhm.
love to spend about a week with Moko, just
Yeah,
out
man.
picking through shit. I would love to see his knowledge, you know.
Yeah, man.
So
That's the beauty about this farming thing as well. Like what I'm saying about the team. Mokko's a massive part of that team, so he's going to be with us throughout the whole journey. You know what I mean? And there's no better teacher to have, man. Like this guy's the number one teacher out here. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that's the beauty of me being next to Mokko as well. Because if you did fancy a vacation and a holiday, you can stay with Mokko. You know what I mean? You can, and he's not expensive, man. Like I'm saying, it's like 1,500 Jamaican dollars for a massive plate of food, whether it's chicken, fish, ital. That's like, 9 US dollars, for a massive plate of food, man. So you're on holiday, man. Like if you want to come experience that, he's next door to me. Or if you want to come and do their working thing, you'll come here. You can meet Mokko if you want to, sort him out with something and go on bush tours or go on farm tours or anything, man. Like people here aren't gonna like overcharge you or take the piss out of you or anything like that, man. Like, these people
for
are real
sure.
here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Like I know, I've seen like Ross Devon and stuff like further down the
Mhm.
hill. Like I mean, that guy's. It's kind of like Mokko too, where they have so much to offer, but they're fair. You know, like
Yeah, man.
they're not gonna just be like, like the whole. I mean, the whole Airbnb thing. That's one thing, but like, I don't know. It's just a way to
There's
see the authentic people.
totally, and like, there's a lot of people out here that will, like, they will just kind of like it's same anywhere in the world. You know what I mean? There's people that will like prey on tourists to try and get as much money out of them as possible, and squeeze them like a sponge. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Whereas like there's people out here that are like they're not like that at all, man. Like it's just yeah. Like I've met so many people out here that are just like so giving and like just take care of you so well, man. Like just like yeah, it's so beautiful, man. Like just the people out here that take care of you and the things they give you and the knowledge they show you and the way they help you out without looking for anything. Because it's rare these days, man, to find anyone that's going to help you in life without looking for something out of it
Yep.
or out of own self-interest. And that's why I'm so like just grateful to be here, man. Because if it wasn't for Mokko and the family and stuff, I wouldn't have anything out here in Jamaica, man. I wouldn't have my land. I wouldn't have been able to come here so I wouldn't say easily because it's been fucking hard to try and live here over the years, but like to have someone to help you throughout the way is like massive, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just they've taken care of my place when I've not been here, and yeah, man, just take like I feel like I'm part of their family, man. Like
Yeah.
literally, you know what I mean? Ever since I'm young, I've come here. They've treated me with nothing but love, and it's like that's why I come back here. That's why I want to live here. That's why I want to be next to them all the time. Me and
Yep.
Mokka's yard is pretty much one yard, man. You know what I mean? Like it's literally one yard. We're all connected.
Yep.
So that's
Yeah.
that's a thing about here. It's a bonus as well. If you come here and help, you get to meet Mokko, and it's just vibes, man. Like it's so you have a good time. A lot of the time, it won't even feel like work when you're going up there, man, because you're having a laugh. You're fucking enjoying yourself. If you smoke ganja, you smoke ganja. If you drink rum, you drink rum. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And and it's all for a good cause, man. It's all for like self-sufficiency and
Yep.
organic farming and to feed people and to feed ourselves and the community that we're building here. Because like I say, it's not just me and Mokko. There's a whole bunch of people involved in this and a whole bunch of farms. And when you have farms and farms connecting, that's like when you have real riches, man. When nobody's hungry, nobody's going without food. You know what I mean? If you need money, you can sell the excess food you have and get money. You know what I mean? That's what being rich is to me, man. Is like not having to want for any food, not having to want for shelter. You've got your water, you've got your food. You know, everybody wants money, but like you can get it if you grow food, man. If you're in the right place, and a lot of it is like not being greedy as well, man. Like when people get greedy and they're only in it for the money, they end up not making money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And not getting very far with it because, like as well with your podcast and stuff, man. It's like you need to love it to be able to do it, and you
Yep.
need to have a drive for it because it's not going to be easy. You know what I mean? It's going to be hard to continuously be consistent and do it and continuously like. Even with Jamaica, man, there's so many things that could have made me quit doing this. You know what I mean? And I've just kept going through it and going through it and suffering and suffering. And now the position that I'm in, I've got my stamp and my passport. I own my land. I'm not paying any bills on the land other than a little electricity bill. I'm eating maybe 15, 20% of my food is coming off the property, and I've barely even started farming. You know what I mean? So if you put in the work and you stay consistent, man, like the thing will pay off. You know what I mean? Eventually,
Yep.
you know. Um, and yeah, you got to accept help from people as well, man. But if you're not doing it, there's nothing people can help you with. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
Like if you're not doing the thing, people can't come and help you because you're not doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
But if you're
sure.
doing it and you're doing it properly and you have a good heart, people will help you, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So are you looking at documenting? Like I know Mokko has a new YouTube channel that's
Yeah,
really
man.
good. And I definitely recommend people to go check that out. But
Yeah,
are
man.
you
Rasta Mokko cool vibes.
yeah.
It's called Rasta Mokko cool vibes.
Are you planning on trying to do any kind of YouTube or anything like your own channel or 'cause I know I see some of your stuff on Instagram and stuff, or
hmm
is it just too much work to try to fuck with the YouTube channel?
I mean, it is a lot of work to do, and there is a part of me that wants to drive towards doing it, and it's not all about the money. But in Jamaica, it is hard to like. You need several revenue streams to be able to like, be able to make a living basically. So, you know, it's not. I would maybe look into it for that kind of thing. Like, okay, it might generate a little funds, and I would like to share. It is just finding the time, and then also like meditating what it would be like, because I've seen what it is like for other people that have kind of went and done the YouTube, and I don't know, man. It's a lot of if you can't if you can't switch it off and come away from it, it might stress your brain and might make you feel rough. You know what I mean? Because
Oh yeah, yeah,
it's like I've seen what's happened to like personal friends and families, and how people can like turn on people so quickly, man. And
yep,
it's not a good feeling, and it doesn't make people feel good when you know But and it's obviously not a good thing to look on and be like, oh, this and that. But you do have to meds it, because I'm a guy that likes my privacy, man. I like to just live my life and do what I want to do. I don't necessarily do the things I do for clout or anything. But then again, I've met some of the best people I've ever met in my life through Instagram and through
yeah,
online. You know what I mean?
yep,
Pretty much
yeah,
what I really need to do, man, is sit down and really meds it. Like since I've been here, I've been so busy trying to look back my passport and just get settled. And like it was always like an ambition of mine to start doing something online, especially with the like the project that I'm doing. Like I want people to come and stay, and there's no better place to do that than online. You know what I mean?
yeah, yep,
And there's more than enough content to do out here as well, man. So I probably will, man. I probably will do it at
yeah,
some point, and that would be the mission: is to document all the farming going ahead.
yep,
It's just, I'm on my own out here, man. Governing my land, working on
yeah,
someone else's land. Away I do 4 acres, helping my Jamaican family out, running my stuff back home same way. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm one man out here doing all this. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then
I hear that.
I like to chill. I like to have my own time. I like to sit down and do nothing. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, 100%.
um, but it is
Yeah,
all just about just getting settled. I'm sure when I'm settled, I will be kicking it off, man. Like I'm almost like 100% sure that I will be doing it. It's just
yep.
how I'm gonna go about doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I
Um,
know, I mean, technology's gotten to the point where you can do a lot of stuff. It, people think they need so much like drones and fucking like,
hmm
shit. It's like
Yeah.
I've seen there's like a snowboarder guy that I've always liked. He does like a daily vlog. His name's Casey Willix. He just does like
Okay.
a daily shit. Like I've just been doing this today, I'm
Yeah,
fucking
man.
I'm making coffee. I'm in doing
Yeah.
some yoga and people eat that shit up. I mean,
Yeah, man.
I think what you're saying too is like you don't want to get it to the point where you're trying to think of something to do just to film the shit that you're doing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man.
Like you're gonna go do something, uh, and I'll film it instead of being like, oh, this is good content
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
you know. I
Totally,
mean,
man.
it's like when we go skiing, sometimes we'll joke around like, oh, the sponsors are gonna love this, you know.
Yeah,
We
man.
don't have
Totally.
any, we don't have sponsors, but it's like it's just a funny thing to say because it's like, you know,
Totally.
you got to think people that are in the industry are like, oh, this is good marketing or this is good,
Yeah,
you
man.
know. Like you gotta
Totally.
you gotta separate it. But yeah, I for sure hear what you're saying. But I mean,
The thing is, as well, I've never ever done anything on social media, man. Like I started my Instagram maybe like 5 years ago,
yeah,
just to fucking because I was coming to Jamaica, so I was like, all my friends are on there. Let's show them what Jamaica's like. You know what I mean?
yep,
And then it just kind of took off over time. You know what I mean? Just where I'm like speaking to people all around the world, man. You know what I mean? And then I'd met like some of my fucking people I class as family, man, or like I've met them over fucking Instagram. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And like, so it is like the internet is such a beautiful place. You just need to like I'm saying, I need to just kind of like meds how I'm gonna do it and how like, and it's like what you're saying, man. It's probably just fucking pick up your phone and film your fucking day. You know what I mean? Like
yep,
it's not hard,
yeah,
and but it is just doing it, man. It is just doing it. And I
yep,
probably think about it too much, like oh this and that, where I just need to like fucking do it.
yep.
Um, and it will happen at some point, man. It will happen at some point.
Yeah, I mean,
Like there's so
I mean, but they get so curious, you know, like if because I mean, you're starting with like at ground zero, you know, like
yeah,
I
man.
mean, to see like the progression, because I always forget, like I'll watch people's videos and shit on YouTube, and the amount of time that goes through, like you forget, like oh, it's been 2 years since I seen
Yeah,
this, and you
man.
go back and look, and it's like your lamb's gonna be just like this baby, you know,
Totally.
that's growing
Yeah,
up.
man.
You know, it's gonna be
It's like
cool to see it.
sometimes I think about that as well, like because when I first started coming out here, man, like I didn't give a fuck about any of that shit. Like I didn't take any photos, I didn't take any videos. I just came here because I loved Rasta and I wanted to fucking see Jamaica. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, but I'm like, man, like when I look back, I'm like, fuck, man, like I should have taken more photos because it would have been cool now to
Yep.
like look back and be like, man, look what the yard was literally jungle, and
Yep.
now it's like a fucking and now it's like a property, which is like a yard, which is like a home now, and it feels homely and it feels nice. Whereas like before, it was like fucking bushland, like proper jungle,
Yep.
and it would have been cool to look back and see all that stuff, but it's just like at the time, it was just like it wasn't about any of that shit. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
wasn't. It had nothing to do with like I didn't even have any social media, man, until
Yeah.
you know what I mean, 5 fucking odd years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
Um,
that's one of the reasons why I started doing this podcast. I mean, people, it's got a fucking weird name, you know, like Contrarian's Quandary. Like,
mm,
but like people that do odd shit are always kind of wondering, like, why am I doing this type shit, you know? So
totally.
it's, but like the last guy that I interviewed, Pitor, he's a big mountain skier. I mean, he's a fucking shaman. If there, I mean, he's been
Yeah,
through
man.
South America. You know, he loves ganja. He's all about everything. But that dude has zero social media. I challenge you.
Hmm.
Go try to find this motherfucker online. Not there. He's not
Yeah,
there.
man.
It's just like what you're saying. He wants the experience and he wants it for himself and the people that are around him, and
Yeah, man.
everybody else can just fuck off. He was more than willing to talk, but I mean, this is a dude that I've known for a few years, and finally he last year was like, yeah, let's do a podcast
Let's do
episode.
it. Yeah.
But it shocked me because I was like, this is a dude that he's not on shit on anything, you know.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, and it's crazy to talk to these people and you're like, fuck, I wish you would tell your story. Like
Totally, man.
I've tried to tell him, like, dude, like just like I'm telling you, like people would be interested in this, but I think his was like when he would have to defend himself, like he was like, oh, you know, like I think it was during the COVID shit. He had said some shit about COVID, and people are like, oh,
Right.
you know, like, oh, you got to do this,
Yeah,
and
man.
he's like, fuck you, I'm not doing that, and that was like, that was it. He just got off and killed it, and that was
Yeah,
it.
man.
Like he was done. Like I'm not gonna listen to somebody telling me what I fucking have to do. I'm gonna do what
Totally,
I
man.
want to do, and he was
Yeah, man.
done. And he was, I mean, he lasted on Instagram for maybe 6 months, and he's a fucking
Fucking
ball.
hell.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
baller photographer. I mean, some of the photos he takes,
Man.
he'll email me a picture, and I'm like, man,
bro.
people
Yeah.
love this shit. But yeah, I hear what you're saying though. It's crazy. Like,
The thing is about social media as well. It's like it's hard to not let it influence you, even however much you might think like, oh, I would never let it influence me or that. It's like it does. Like that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to draw you in. It's designed for it to harbor your attention, for you to do things. Like it's just like anything, man. Like you put a picture up, you get likes, whether you like it or not. That dopamine's firing off in your brain. You know what I mean? And then
yep,
you're like, oh, you know what I mean? And then you start looking at views and all this stuff, and then you just get into like a warped perception of
yep,
life. You know what I mean? Because you're so concerned about what's going on online, you're not really
yep,
looking about what's going on right in front of you. You know what I mean?
yeah, for
And
sure.
I could be like that, man. Like I had I've got Instagram and maybe like 2,500 people on there, and it's like more fucking 95% of the time, it's fucking amazing, great people. You know what I mean? I've met so many great people on there. But then there's almost like you might get a few negative comments or a few negative messages, and they're the ones that stick in your head, man. They're the
Yep,
ones that nag at you. You know what I mean? And it's probably just something to do with like how we humans are designed and how we like react to negative feedback or a hurtful message or something like that. You know what I mean?
yep,
Um, but it is just like managing that. Like what I love about Mokko, bro, is like when a lot of shit was kicking off of the internet and people were giving him a lot of hate and all that shit. I called him up and was like, oh man, this, and he literally didn't feel any way about it at all. He was just like, if it's fucked, it's fucked, you know. But he isn't scrolling on social media. He isn't
yeah,
taking selfies. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He's like happy in his farm, man. He just shrugs. He's like, ah, if it's fucked, it's fucked. So it
yeah,
go, and you're just like, man, I
yeah,
need to fucking have that mindset, brother. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I need more of that. I need to learn from that, man. To like,
yeah,
cause you do, man. You can say you don't give a fuck as much as you want, but like at a certain point, it will. If you're having a bad day and you're not feeling great about yourself, and you go online and you read something or someone said something, or you know what I mean, it might fucking hit you the wrong way, man. You know what I mean? And then you start
yeah,
feeling down about it and all this, but it's just having the perception of just being like, man, none of this really matters. Like, and people that are showing hate to you are probably like going through something themselves, you know what I mean? And they're just kind of projecting it onto you because they feel bad about yourself. And it's kind of like you just can't let that hatred go through you and go onto someone else because you feel like shit. So you make someone else feel like shit.
yep,
You just gotta be like, oh man, so it go, man, and just be grateful, man. It's always just, to me, life is all about just being grateful for what you have and who's around you and just reminding yourself about that all the time, man. And that keeps you grounded, you know what I mean? Because you're
yep,
like, I got people around me that love me and care about me, and I don't even know some of these people, and most of the people are fucking loving the thing, you know what I
yep,
mean? So
yeah,
there's always going to be like one bad apple that goes to try and spoil the bunch, but
yep.
it's all new. This is all new age problems, man. You know what I mean? Like
It is.
even I like internet came out when I was fucking like all this Facebook and social media came out when I was probably like blew up when I was probably like 12 years old, and I didn't have any interest in it. You know what I mean? And started using it around them time, like teenage years. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yep.
it's so new to
Yeah.
everyone and like how it affects your brain, and it's not surprising that like when social media has exploded, so's all these mental health issues have
Yep.
exploded simultaneously next to it.
Yeah.
So it's like you just got to be careful, man, and be aware. And I've been in bad habits before where I spent way too much time on the phone. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And it's good to like have a purpose when you're doing it and know when to put it down and know when to go and just be in your life and what's right in front of you. You know what I mean?
Yep. For
But
sure.
it is a
Yeah.
beautiful thing, though. It is a beautiful thing. Like the amount of people I've met over there, and you know, just people that want to come here, and I've had great conversations with, and people I've met, and people have helped me. People I've met over social media that have helped me, and a whole heap. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yep.
when you look at it, it is more positive than negative if you take away like how your perspective of things are.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
things are how you perceive things, how you read things. Because remember, when someone texts you or messages you, you don't hear the tone of voice, you don't see their facial expressions.
Yep.
You read it how you feel. I read it how I feel at the time. So if I'm in a bad mood, I'm gonna read that and take it away about based on how I feel.
Yep.
You know, when someone could have said it smiling and laughing. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But
I think we're in an age too. It's funny. We were just at the bookstore yesterday, and I was going around the corner, and you know how they have the shelves like organized by like
mhm.
like gardening and all this other shit. I got
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
the one section. I think we got an awakening happening because the self transformation, not even self help section. Like you have the self help book, like whatever,
Uh,
but the self transformation shit, like all the the spirituality, I mean everything from fucking paganism to like to tarot to all
yeah.
this shit, man, is fucking huge. The section had probably doubled in the last year since I'd been in there. And I was
Damn.
just like, people are looking for information,
Yeah, man.
they're looking for like a better awakening. And I think like,
Mhm.
dealing with social media is taught people that, they need to self transform, transform themselves more
Yeah,
than
man.
they take this external influence. But like, I think YouTube, like when it was first born, was just dumb fucking videos. And I think
Totally.
when it first started to really kick off, it was learning how to do shit. Like, if I have to fuck with my car, dude, one of the
Mhm.
first place I go is I'm like,
YouTube, man.
how the fuck do I get this wheel bearing off? Like,
Totally.
but I think that's your opportunity too, is to show people like, the process. I know like, we've seen Mokko, we've seen like Chucky and some of this learning
Yeah,
shit.
man.
But I think you also have the opportunity to show like this, this bare ground. It's a positive thing. Like people,
Yeah, man.
I mean, you definitely want to have a YouTube channel that makes people want to go out and do something
Mhm.
versus just like I'm gonna watch this fucking guy hurt himself, or I'm gonna watch this
Totally.
guy
Totally,
like
man.
like getting
They
stuck
don't
on
bring
dumb
value.
shit.
You want something
Yeah,
that brings value, you know?
yeah,
See, a lot,
100%.
like, a lot of it is just doing it, man. Like, I'm not, so much of it is, like, very alien to me. Like, you know, like, pointing the camera on my face and speaking into the camera. Like, I'm not, like, Mokko, for example, man. Like, Mokko, if someone points a camera on him, boom, he knows what to do. He goes right
Yeah,
into it. Yes, people, blah, blah, blah. I am not, I find it hard to be like, like I'm speaking to someone
yep,
rather than just speaking to the camera. You know what I mean? So it's all like, probably a lot of it is just like fucking like fear of just going into like the unknown of doing it. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
just like putting myself out there into the world. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
it
And you
will
don't,
happen, man. Like you know.
yeah, for sure. You don't want it to change yourself too. I know, like when I first, if you listen to the first couple, I haven't really done that many episodes, but like the first couple episodes were so like fucking canned. Like I thought that I had to like stick to talking points and like ask
Yeah,
specific
yeah.
questions. And some of the best conversations are when like literally I have nothing to talk to you about, right? I
Totally.
have no bullet, I have no points, I don't know like what I'm gonna say next. I have thoughts in my head,
Yeah,
but
man.
like that's like it comes natural to some people, but I think people like us have to like really go like and just kind of forget the technology for a minute. Like I think that's
Mhm.
Moko's, like I can't tell you how many times like I've been working on something and like somebody will talk to me, I'll look up and I'll be like yeah man, he's got that.
Totally.
It's
Yeah,
just
man.
like he's just talking to somebody out there. But I think forgetting
Totally,
that
man.
the technology's there, I mean it's doing its thing. It's like, but you get so focused on like what's this going to look like, what's it going to sound like,
Totally, man.
whatever. And that's like
Yeah,
even
man.
with this podcast, I've kind of gone. People don't want to listen to like fucking intro music. They don't want to listen to fucking. They don't want to listen to all this shit. They just like, let's just hear what they have to
Get
say.
right into it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
man.
hear all these podcasts and these YouTube videos with these crazy fucking like, like fucking sound effects and shit. And like,
Totally,
it's like
man.
people. I mean,
You don't
I
even
like.
notice that shit, bro.
Yeah, they don't notice it. They want the content. They want the positive
Totally,
shit.
man.
But
Well, it's like you look like the way Mal, like I see the way Malco does his videos, bro, and like he's mathsing them up and like fucking, like I'm talking about filming them and editing them within like fucking 40 minutes, bro. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And
yeah,
then puts them out there and people love them.
yep,
And it's like by no means is it this big production with thousands of dollars worth of equipment or shit. You know what I mean? It's
yep,
literally just it's just vibes. You know what I
yep,
mean? And he's not sitting there thinking about, oh, what should I do for the thumbnail? And you know what I mean? Like he's
Yep.
just like just chuck a fucking, he's just like just do it, man. Just do it, like, and put it
Yep.
out there. He doesn't give a fuck if he gets fucking 500 views or fucking 10,000 views. Mokko loves the people that tune in, man. You can see it, and like, like the people that watch are like are helping him and his family like survive, basically. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So like Mokko's very, very grateful for them and loves it. And Mokko's famous, man. Like even out here, bro. Like we go to Morant Bay, and everyone is like, "Yo, Mokko, me see the banana, me see this, the calabash dry it, this, that,"
Yeah.
taking photos. Like the guy's a superstar, man. The guy's a superstar, man. Like it's for me to see it all, man, because I came here when Mokko had two cabins. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
like it wasn't, nobody knew him. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't famous, man. You know what I mean? And now it's like Malcolm's been doing his thing for years now, and now it's like I'd say Malcolm's the most famous Rasta in the world, man. You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean? Maybe outside of like Bob Marley and all this, but like
Yep.
on the go right now, Malco. Like I'm sure if you typed into fucking Google Images, Jamaican Rasta, Malco's face would come up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like he is worldwide famous, man. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
yeah, man,
Yeah.
it's like people watching and helping him, and yeah, it's just great. It's good to be here, man, and be around the family, and just like seeing them come from like nothing to then something. You know what I mean? It's like
Yep.
it's blessed to see, man. And like all the hardship they've been through, and it's just like I speak to Malcolm, man. He tells me some of the shit that's just like he's been through in life, man, and you're just like, man, like if you had let that stop you, you know, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have these beautiful grandchildren. You wouldn't have this beautiful yard. You wouldn't have people coming from all over the world to visit. You wouldn't have any of that if you'd given up. I know, and he's telling me some stories that would like have made any man give up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he kept pushing on through, man. And it's like it's just like it's so nice to see, man. You know what I mean? So good to see. Just like, and that's the thing. What I love about like over the years of traveling back and forth to Jamaica, like I'll come here for a year and then I'll leave for a year or 2 years and then I'll come back. You know what I mean? So I see a lot of the people that I know that I'm friends with that I seen at one point we were suffering together, trying to make a studio, for example, and nobody's coming, nobody's spending money. The only food we have is we have to climb a tree and get two bread for it. You know what I mean? Like, and now you see them stay consistent, and you don't see them for 2 years, and you come back and they've got a car, they've got a business. They're like they look fatter and healthier, and you know what I mean. And it's like, man, I love to see that, man. Like people just grinding and going through the suffering and coming out, like the light at the end of the tunnel, and you know what I mean? They never gave up and they kept going, and and now and it pays off, man. And
Yeah.
for me to see that, like I've tried to come and live in Jamaica since I was 16 years old, man. Like that's been the mission for me. I'm now 29, and there's been so many reasons I could give up, man. Like so many, like so many things that would have made me give up, and it's like I've stayed consistent with it. I've you know I've kept going and kept doing it, and now it's like it feels like this is the beginning now. It feels like everything I've ever worked for has come to this point, and now this is the beginning because I'm living here now. I'm sorted here now. I've got my little savings. I'm not suffering. You know what I mean? My yard's built up. You know what I mean? I've got electricity. I've got everything. Everything that I remember saying to my brethren, man, all I want is current on my yard with a blender and a fridge, you know? And I just bought my fridge the other day. I've got my blender, you know what I mean? I've
Yeah.
got my little gym set up, so I'm like, you got to like, they say it's not good to like pat yourself on the back and, blow smoke up your own ass, but it's like you do got to look back sometimes and be like, man,
Yeah.
you know, because some people are like, even myself, man, like I've achieved things in my life that 3 years ago, I said I would have been happy if I had all these things, and I'm still sitting here being like, "Oh, I want this and I want to do this," and you know what I mean? When you're like, "Man, if 3 years ago you said you'd want your yard with your blender and your fridge, you know what I mean? You got to take a second, man, and look and be like, damn, man,
Yep.
we're here, man, we're
Yeah.
here." You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like we
oh
fucking
yeah.
done it, man. Like
Yeah. A lot of people could learn that. I mean, because like if you look. if you look at in the States or anywhere in the developed world, I mean, if you get something, the next thing you want is something else. I mean,
Mhm.
I,
Yeah,
I've been
man.
in, we've been in the same house for well over 20 years. And it's like,
Right.
we've never thought about getting a different house. I mean,
Mhm.
you've seen my house. It's tiny, dude. It's like, there's really nothing here, but we're okay with that.
Yeah, man.
Other people just want that. Like you're saying, they don't
More
look
and
back and
more
go,
and more.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
man. And
be
it's like,
happy where you're at. But
yeah, man, and be grateful for what you have as well, because it's easy to like, it's easy to like look back and be like, oh, I want this and I want more in life, but you're like, man, like don't, like life is so short, man. Like life is
yep,
so short. Like everyone you love is gonna die. You know what I mean? Like time moves fast, and it's like you need to really like slow down sometimes and be grateful for who you have around you and all your loved ones and stuff. Because if you're not grateful for that, man, and it'll go past you, man, and you'll.
yep. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Yeah, I think that's kind of the thing too, is like just like the everyday life, I mean, it's like just living in the current moment, but that's like with farming too. Like I know like a lot of times farming, you're kind of looking at it going, like what's going to happen with this? Like you have to look in the future, but still like if you're digging up shit that day, that's like what you're doing that day. I don't
Yeah,
know.
man.
It's definitely crazy.
Totally.
I mean, it's so crazy to grow something. Like we grow garlic. We grow a shitload of garlic. And garlic's such a weird crop to grow because you plant it and fertilize it and you fucking forget about it. And all
Yeah,
winter
man.
long it just sits out there and then it starts coming up and you're like, "Oh shit, I forgot about this." You got to and it's just such a weird
Yeah, man.
process that you put stuff away and then just don't think about it. I mean,
Mhm.
because if I'm sweating about like, because I've got like two beds of garlic out there just chilling, like what are they doing? Like I could think about that
Yeah,
all
man.
day long, but like
Totally.
I gotta let it be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I just gotta let it be.
It's I see it all the time, like with my fucking hair, man.
Yeah.
Right? When I'm younger and I'm growing my locks, I'm like, oh man, I'd love to have fat, long locks and all this. And now that I've got long ass locks down on my ass, it's more annoying than anything. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, remember I had the little hair down to here and I didn't have to tie it up and I could fucking run around and it's not
Yeah.
shit, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I wasn't grateful for that time back then, man. I should have
Yeah.
been more fucking grateful of my little short locks, man, because they didn't fucking piss me off as much as these do, you know what I mean?
It's tough though,
Um,
because hair. I mean, you can see hair is power, man. Like,
yeah, man.
you know, we're like
Totally.
we're we're like fucking who is that, Samson or whatever?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
We can't
Samson,
go.
man.
Yeah.
The
Like,
woman cut off his hair, man. He lose all his strength. You
yeah,
know what
that's
I mean?
right. That's right.
Yeah, man.
Well, cool, man. I won't take up too much of your day, but I definitely want to put it out there that you're doing some cool shit, and
Yeah, respect, man.
yeah, I definitely look forward to seeing more, like just more what you got going on during the day. Because I
Hmm.
mean, I definitely always get excited when I see like you with the picture of
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's definitely cool to see. So I mean, I definitely would encourage put that shit out on YouTube. I mean, and
Hmm.
if there's 100 of us or if there's 100,000 of us, it's all
Yeah, man.
positive. It's all positive
Totally,
shit.
man.
So
All positive, man. It will
so
happen, man. I just need to get my finger out and do it, man. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's one of them ones.
Well, it's
But it
hard.
will happen, man.
I mean, it's hard too because it's like it changes how you do things. Because like when I first started doing podcasts, I would see like a person that I was interested in, and I'd think like, oh, that'd make a good episode. Instead of like, oh, I'm interested in this person. Like,
Totally.
I mean, it's
Totally.
always it changes how you look at stuff, so it's always difficult to kind of bridge
Yeah,
that
it is,
gap
man.
and be like, oh, well, I'm just not making content. Like I'm doing, I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
man.
showing you what I'm doing during the day, like farming and stuff, instead of like, oh, this would make a good fucking video or this,
Yeah, totally. And
like
it's taking you away from your daily life, man. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, it's not always about the algorithm. I mean it, and like you were saying too, like you don't just focus on like making the algorithm happy. You just do what you want to do, and like that's kind of
Yeah,
Mocha's
man.
secret, is just like fucking doing his shit,
Man,
and then
totally.
people like that authentic.
People love it, man.
Yep.
People love it, especially like Mokko. especially on TikTok, man. Mokko puts these things out on TikTok where he's just like, "This is coconut root. Boil it up and put it in your tea. It's good for your back." You know what I mean? And it's literally
Yeah.
just there's no editing. The guy doesn't even put captions. He doesn't even put like this is. And
Yeah.
man, it's like 150,000 views,
Yeah.
20K views, 30K views. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like he's not sitting there thinking about like, oh, if I post it at this time or I put this hashtag or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah.
putting it
For
out,
sure.
man. He's not
Yeah.
like, oh, did this one get 40K views or did this one get 3K? You know, he's just like, yo, I want to show the people my fucking jackfruit fritters. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
does it,
That
man. But
it is amazing too. Like I know even in like real life going out with like I'm not a guide, but I go out with guides and to
mm,
learn from these people, it's like these little tiny things that somebody might have no interest in. Like, like oh, have you ever seen how to roll up your cordelet so it doesn't get tangled? And they'll show me and I'll be like, "Fuck
yeah,
yeah."
man.
But it's like these things that you don't even think about that that end up getting a lot of
Yeah,
attention.
man.
It's so crazy
Uh-huh.
that I mean, if you were going to hire a guide and you're going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to teach you how to," I'm going to teach you how to do an alpine coil, or I'm going to teach you how to like, I mean, it's
Sounds
like,
boring as fuck.
yeah, some boring shit. Like, but yeah, but some people just like the authentic shit. So I mean,
Yeah, man.
it's like I don't know. Even like what he said about just letting things go where they're gonna go. Like if this, the last video he had is like, oh, the plant goes here. If it comes up, it's good. If it's
Yeah, man.
like, I'm pretty sure Moko's. He's probably like one of the reasons why people can actually understand like patois and stuff.
Yeah, man.
Because
100%, man.
dude, it's so fucking hard sometimes. Like
Oh, man. It
it's
is,
so
man.
hard.
Like I've been
But
here so long, like I just understand it so
yeah,
well. But
yeah,
I
you're
can
lucky.
understand like when people are like when especially when they're saying something and they're almost like speaking fast and it's almost like
Yep.
they're mumbling and they're saying it. Like you're like it's like I'm surprised I could even understand that, man. You
Yep.
know, people are like, what? But
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
That's
that's the only
awesome.
thing that you can improve on in his videos, man, is start to try to get subtitles in there, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
For
people can
sure.
see exactly what he's saying, man.
Yeah. For sure. Well, cool. I'll wrap this up and just say that.
Yeah, man.
I mean, you're looking for people coming out this year. I mean, that's amazing,
Yeah,
dude.
man.
This is crazy. I think the first time you and I talked, it was like, you had the yard, but it wasn't like you didn't have the land. It was kind of like this one of these
Yeah,
days
man.
type things. I think it's been almost
Totally.
two. It's been 2 years.
Yeah,
So I
man.
mean,
It's been 2 years since I built the yard up. So
that's
since I fenced it
amazing.
off, built the yard, built the bathroom, 2 years. Two
Yeah.
years ago at this time, I was in Jamaica doing
Yeah.
this. You know
That's
what I mean? And
amazing.
now the land's secured. Everything happens. What I learned though in life is just like everything you want to do is always going to take longer than you anticipated, and it's going to cost more. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to cost more and take longer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Uh,
but we're
Yeah.
here, man. You need to come out sometime, man.
Yeah,
You
I
know what I
want
mean?
to for sure.
Yeah, man.
We just have the two small dogs and they're like very
Yeah, totally.
very very particular to me and I'm a dog
Hmm.
person. Like I mean, it's hard for me to even go climb overnight or like go in the
Totally,
alpine.
man.
But yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I
It's
definitely want
family,
to hit.
man, isn't it?
Oh yeah, 100%. I definitely want to check it out because I mean the natural environment and I'm a coffee head too. Like one of my
Oh,
favorite
man.
Blue Mountain is like the shit.
Yeah, man.
We'll pay fucking $30 a pound for Blue Mountain
Totally,
coffee.
man.
I mean, it is
It's expensive,
crazy,
man.
so
It's
expensive.
wild.
Yep,
Yeah,
but
man.
yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna definitely link up your Instagram so people can
Nice one,
get a
man.
hold of you and hopefully have this episode out and people. I don't have a huge following, but I mean, at least it gives you something to put out there.
Totally,
It's
man. Anyone, just anyone that listens, man. Anyone wants to hear it. Anyone interested, just hit me
yeah.
up, man. And anytime you want to do it again, man, I'm always here, man.
Yep, for sure. I definitely like the reoccurring, being able to talk about things, not
Yeah,
just
man.
not just do something and leave. I mean, it's nice to follow back up with stuff. I mean, and if you
Let's
can
do it,
think,
man.
yeah, for sure. If you can think of any subjects, I mean, if you want to go off on, herbalism, if you want to go
Yeah,
off
man.
on, sacrament, I mean, I'm definitely always up to hear stories about that. I don't know. I love the
Definitely, man.
love the hippie days, man. I love listening.
Yeah.
So
We'll even try to get Mokko on one of the pods, man.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
I'll do a little translation, man.
Yeah,
I'll be
that'd
the
be
translator.
yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy.
Yeah,
That
man.
that dude's definitely got some good energy. So
Oh man, he can tell you anything you want to know about healing stuff or anything, man. You
that's
know what I
so
mean?
it's so amazing to me because I know I study like Ayurvedic, like yoga and stuff. I use a neti
Hmm.
pot and herbs and it's crazy how much that shit goes back thousands of years.
Oh
You know,
man,
it's so
thousands
crazy.
of years, man.
Yep.
Like from the
So
beginning of when humans are about, man, they were using these things. Like,
yep.
and man, there's so much like you could be like, oh, conspiracy theorists or whatever, but it's like the government and the pharmaceutical industry do not want you knowing about these things, man,
Yep.
because it literally is as simple as finding the right herb and boiling it the right way
Yep.
and drinking it or consuming it the right way and doing enough of it that there was a woman that called Mokko up the other day, man. I was there. She had a cyst on her ovaries, couldn't have kids, cyst there. Mokko told her what to do. She called up, cyst gone. Cyst gone,
Wow.
bro.
That's
Gone.
crazy.
Like, I heard her on the phone. It wasn't like a pure joke thing. You know what I mean? Like, another time, a guy, a couple came here, couldn't get pregnant. The guy said it was like something to do with him. Marco said, nah, man, nothing to go so like that. Drink this. Gave him some herbs, tonics. They went home. Maybe a year later, get a phone call. Yo, she's pregnant.
That's amazing.
9 months later, triplets, bruv.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
fucking triplets. You know
That's
what I
crazy.
mean? You're like, Jesus, man.
Medicine's
You
too
didn't want
strong.
that much. Yeah, it's too strong, man.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah, man. When there's a will, there's a way, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, it's been good. Yeah, good catching up to you, man.
Yeah,
So,
man. As always, man.
yep, for sure. All right. Well, I guess we'll just wrap it up
Yeah,
and
man.
hopefully you get
Until
some
next
people.
time, man.
Yep, get some people out there and put those fuckers to work, man.
Yeah, man. Let's
All
do it.
right. All right. Sounds good.
All
All
right, big
right.
up, man.